There's always that funny story of like, well, my friends insert something there. We had a force on force class years ago. We were doing just kind of like a hit the timer. I run towards you with a knife and you have to draw and fire. This guy goes, well, my buddy's special forces, and he said that in that situation you should lie down, fall back onto your back, and draw. And I was like, cool, let's try it. Did not work. He fell onto his back, trying to get his gun out. I ended up getting his gun off him, and I think I shot him right in the junk. I didn't even see what Watchtower had.
Yeah.
Because we went over and they had the
punching
bag.
Yeah.
And somebody spent their time there both days.
How'd you do?
8:45.
So my buddy Ray was the one running that. I've known Ray for like 10 years.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I hit one. He's like, "Oh, this dude knows how to punch." It's like,
yeah, he tried to get me to do it. I was like, no.
Yeah, I went like 2 days in a row to do it. It's like so much fun to hit something.
I saw one booth
So
there
therapeutic.
had a claw machine like we have at the range.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had a claw machine.
Yes.
I was walking down one of the aisles. I was like, oh, hey, that's kind of...
They had a claw machine with, I think, like an airsoft AR in the back.
Oh.
I was like, damn, how would you even get that with a claw?
Was that a suppressor company that did that?
I don't even know who it was. I was on the way to a meeting. I was late. I was like almost running, and it was on the main floor. And I was walking by. And I was like, oh, hey, that's kind of cool. It's like, jot that down.
Yeah.
Big Tex booth, claw machine.
Speaking about Watchtower, we were right next to them, and I walked over there. Was it Garrett? I think is the yeah. Hope I didn't get his name wrong. If I'm sorry, I apologize. Because we talk from time to time. I like what they're doing with their, like they've upgraded their rifles. I really dig what they're doing with those.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of cool stuff over there, for sure. Yeah, they're definitely
I mean, it's just basic stuff, but like H2 buffer and
right.
I just wish they wouldn't use adjustable gas blocks.
Oh yeah,
I told him that. I was like, dude, I'm weird, but please don't put adjustables. So he's like, no. You got to sell to your audience, but that was my only complaint. But I really like what they're doing with their stuff over there, especially the rifles.
I have not seen them. Totally was sidetracked by the...
Went straight for the punching bag. Speaking of that, before we get too far into it, do a quick intro real quick. Ben, he's been on before, on-site firearms training. And we got Craig from Templar Defense. I'm Mike. We got Tara. We're here. I guess this is like our SHOT Show hot wash episode.
Yeah.
We can probably talk about SHOT for an hour or 10.
SHOT Show crud scrub.
Yeah, so this is I don't know when this is going to drop, but this is the Wednesday following SHOT Show. So we're all back in town. I got back last week. Was sick. Been sick. Craig's 4 for 4.
Yeah, I am. I'm 4 for 4 of not getting sick, and Tara and I were talking about how not to get sick.
Alien.
I took the red eye.
Oh, damn.
Like 9:59 Saturday morning, slept 2 hours out on the plane, got home, hugged my kids, and then crashed on the couch for like the rest of the morning. And I think it still took me an extra couple days to catch back up on my sleep. But yeah, 4 for 4 of not getting sick.
That's impressive. That's a streak. That's a hell of a streak.
Hey, law of averages, it's bound to happen sometime.
Yeah, this is the second year for me that I didn't get sick. Damn. Every other year I've gotten sick.
I did not get it last year. And I was like, I drove last year for the first time. And I was like, it's because I drove and I wasn't in the airplane with people. And then this year I was like, Saturday night. It kind of hit when I got to my buddy's house in New Mexico. I got out of the truck and I was like, I took a deep breath in of the desert air. And I was like, oh, shit. It's like the altitude, the dry air, just everything kind of all hit me at once. And I was like, I'm screwed. So today's like the last day of it. It's kind of going away. So see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow's class, so I better be.
Yeah, you better be.
You better be good.
Up and running. I am going today after this to get a massage because night before last, I got 2 leg cramps, like an hour apart from each other in both legs.
Ew.
Just woke up in the middle of the night, like just in extreme pain. So I was like, damn it. So, little spa day today later.
There you go.
I know you weren't tied to a booth. Craig, you work a booth when you're up there, huh?
I do. So my day job, I work for SDS Arms. I cover Halo States for them and do some marketing and training on the side for them as well. But everybody talks about SHOT, man. SHOT's awesome, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's work for me.
Yeah.
I think the first day, so we usually get there like Monday while a lot of the other guys are at the range. We'll get there. Fortunately, this is the second year. The first year when I worked for them, the first 2 years, we had to set up the booth. We were down in the dungeon. We had to set up the booth, and that was miserable. Moving on up, we have people set that for us, but we still have to put out the guns. And so we do that on Monday, but like I think Tuesday we had to be there at 7:30 for like a sales meeting. The show ends at 5:30, and you're all you have time is to, shut down, go back to your room, change clothes, go eat.
Yeah.
And then by that time, like I'm 2 hours behind, I got to call the kids, check on them. And so it's work for me. It wasn't until the last day where I actually had time to get away, and I saw Ben and Rachel and saw my buddies at, Gideon and some other, tried to go to Suns, but that's just way too far of a walk for.
Yeah.
We were in Caesars.
Oh, gotcha.
And I was like, I'm not walking that far. But it's work, man. It's work, and so I was happy to get back. It's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy the people.
Yeah.
But I was glad to get back.
It's funny.
Takes a lot out of you.
It does.
I had mentioned to Sean, because Sean and I were walking around doing videos for night fishing on Tuesday and Wednesday. Part of what I was doing there was, as one of their sponsored shooters, I'm kind of like the interview guy for everyone who's running our sites. So I said, we got to go back over to Caesars because we missed something. And I was like, fuck, it's such a long walk. And from where we were standing, it would have taken us longer to walk to where Velocity Systems was than to walk where you were. But because you have to go outside and go over the bridge, it just makes it seem like it's longer.
Yeah.
It's like
It seems like it's like
half the distance. I'm like, man, I don't want to walk all the way over there. Let's go see Nelson at Velocity Systems. And I was like, this is a longer walk than it would have been to get to Caesars. Like, just the perception.
Like if you're going basement to like the back side of the main floor, that's almost further than anywhere on the main floor to Caesars.
Yes,
But Caesars is so spread out, so it feels
yeah.
It is. It's
because it's like a different ballroom.
It's at least 3 or 4 different ballrooms.
Yeah.
We're actually looking at trying to go back to the main floor, move back to the main floor next year. Even though like the lighting and it seemed Caesars was when temperature, like it was a lot cooler, more comfortable, because we went to the main floor the last day when I was just walking around trying to see people. This got a little bit hot on the main floor, but we just didn't see the amount of traffic. So I think we're going to move back there, get a little bit more centralized. But
Caesars is definitely a more open environment, whereas like main floor SHOT Show just always feels like
it always feels
like
congested,
you
crammed,
are
and
being crushed in by the walls. But
yeah, Caesars it seems like the aisles are wider and the booths are more spread out. Like, I mean, they're all obviously butted up against each other, but it feels like I can breathe and have like more elbow room when I'm in Caesars.
But yeah, when like West Coast people, when the temperature drops below 60, they panic and turn the thermostat up to like 95. It's wild. Like I'm used to, like, if it's 70 degrees outside, it's like 60 degrees inside.
yeah.
Whereas like every time I go to SHOT Show, if it's 50 degrees outside, it is like 110 inside anywhere you go. Like that heat is just cranked. It's wild. Like I see dudes walking around with suits on. Like I saw Eric Gelhaus and Chuck and a couple other people like rolling around with like suit jackets and button-up shirts and pants. And I'm like,
That was me.
like, I'm ready to pass out just looking at you guys with all those clothes.
Well, it's not so much that. It's so I think Tuesday I wore dress shoes. Wednesday, I wore my cowboy boots, and then by the third day, like I put on my casual like tennis shoes. I'm like, I'm not playing this game.
I absolutely have to have tennis shoes. I actually forgot them among other things. I ordered them from Amazon. I was like, I can't can't do boots all week. I have to have my tennis shoes.
Brutal.
Yeah, but now I was trying to think. We're thinking of cool things. That's the bad part is I can't go look at the floor on stuff. Fortunately, we were pretty close to the primary arms optics booth. That new enclosed optic they have, the HTX, that looks pretty cool. I'm hoping. I'd like to get my hands on that. Didn't get a chance to go look at the Suns booth with their new rifles. That would have been nice to do, but this is weird. Maybe this is just in the stage of life that I am. One of the coolest things that I thought, and I didn't even get a chance to see it, but John Correa had posted something that Henry Holsters put out. It was like a holster survival kit.
Oh, yeah.
With all the different screws. I'm like, that to me is like awesome.
Like a repair kit?
Yes.
Like an oh shit kit. That
like if you're teaching a holster class and somebody's got a janky ass holster. And,
that's awesome.
like you can fix stuff.
It's got like all the screws and washers.
It's almost like y'all. I think the White Label Armor used to have their field repair kit for like AR-15s.
Yes.
Kind of the same thing for holsters.
Beautiful idea.
Like that.
I can't even tell you how many times someone's like, hey, I lost the screw, and like on their holster now it's like, or the retention screw.
I could probably
or whatever.
put a kit together based off the stuff that I've had over the years, but that's a pretty ingenious thing. That's sad. That's where I'm at now. I think that's cool.
I won't mention it, but there was a holster company a couple years ago that came out with a modular holster that you could put like inside the waistband, outside the waistband. This piece comes off, this piece comes on. And we had a student buy it, and he was like, oh, it's great. I can do all these different configurations with this holster. And 20 draws into the class, the whole thing just fell apart on the floor in front of him. And I was like, yeah, that's why I don't like that company. Oh, well, I thought that, no.
But they have good advertising on Amazon and Facebook.
Yeah, they do. They have lots of good advertising. But you know who you don't see advertise a lot? The holsters that stay together because they don't need it. I'm a big fan of Dark Star Gear, Tenacore, Raven Concealment, Black Point Tactical, which is now owned by High Speed Gear. 508 Holsters, another good holster company out of Massachusetts. So just plug in my pals here, And everybody asked me, like, hey, what kind of holster should I get? Oh, you should go get this. Tell me if this sounds familiar. They come back 2 weeks later. Yeah, I didn't get that one. I got this one instead. And it's like, good luck with it.
I get the same thing on guns. They're like, what gun should I get? I'm like, these are your, like, for instance, I'd, for females, right? Let's just talk about that. So women are typically a little bit, not necessarily statured, but hands are a little bit smaller. Right. So like PDPF, great option. The 365 series, solid option. Love Glock 48, 43X. And so I'll recommend something like that. And then they'll come back and I went and got this. What do you think about it? The first question I asked them was like, have you purchased it yet? Yeah. Great option. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
If they haven't, then I'll kind of give them my whole thing. But if they've already purchased, they're just looking for validation. But it's that's frustrating.
Well, the guy at the gun store said I should get this 2-inch 357 Magnum revolver.
But you don't know what you don't know. Like with the holsters, a lot of people they'll drop all this money on certain things like their gun or something else, but they don't understand the value in actually investing in a good holster. So
problem is, if I were to ask somebody advice, like we all have the people that we go to ask advice. Like, why do you go to this person to ask them their advice? Like, think of somebody who you ask their advice a lot.
Okay.
Why do you go to them?
Because I think they know what they're talking about.
Okay. So when they give you the advice that you ask them for, what do you do with that advice?
Roll with it.
Yeah, I usually roll with it.
Yeah. Imagine if you were like, nah, I'm going to do something completely opposite.
But a lot of people do that. I mean, they really do. It's frustrating.
They do, and they'll go to a gun store, and there'll be a guy behind the counter who probably hasn't fired a pistol in 10 years.
Not at BTO, but
not at BTO. No, not here.
Y'all are different.
Not
we
here.
We are different.
but I'm sure somewhere in this neighborhood.
You are absolutely correct.
And I had a student, Rachel and I had a student go to a local gun store, and she's like, I want to buy a Glock 17 Gen 5. And the guy behind the counter was like, it's too big for your hand. You don't want that gun, and you're going to have a hard time racking a slide, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, no, that's the one I want. I fired it. My instructor said that's the one I should get. That's what I want. And they're like, well, I don't want to sell it to you. I think you should get this. And they go to give her like the tiniest, littlest, smallest version of like the 365 Ruger LCP, Hellcat, whatever the fuck it was. And she's like, nope. And she thankfully left without buying it.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'm not doing it. She's like, I want to buy what I want to buy. So she called us and was like, what do I do? I said, well, here's another store.
That's always wild. Like when somebody walks in and they're like, this is what I want to buy. Like if somebody walks in and they're like, hey, I want to buy this, make a recommendation once. If they're stuck on it, then just sell them what they want.
Yeah.
You know?
Shut up and
I
make
would
your
always
sale.
ask why did you pick that one?
Yeah.
Because that's, you got to ask those qualifying questions. Because if they say, I've done all my research, I've shot it, I've, whatever, I want this, then cool, let's go that route. But if they say, well, my best friend's husband, recommended that, and I'm like, okay, then we have a whole nother avenue that we can go in to really get, to maybe start steering them in the direction more towards something that actually fits them,
There's always that funny story of like, well, my friend's insert something there, and he says we had a force on force class years ago when we were working as Op 4 at SIG Academy, and this guy's like, we were doing just kind of like a hit the timer, I run towards you with a knife, and you have to draw and fire sim round, UTM, whatever, before I get to you. It's like 21 feet, the Tooler theory thing. This guy goes, well, my buddy's Special Forces, or he was Special Forces, and he said that in that situation you should lie down, fall back onto your back, and draw. I was like, cool, let's try it. Did not work. He fell onto his back, trying to get his gun out. I ended up getting his gun off him, and I think I shot him right in the junk. But it was one of those things where it's like, well, my friend says.
Yeah.
It's like, just because somebody said it and just because somebody was something at some point doesn't mean that it's legit.
That's the thing that I love about jiu-jitsu. So people go, hey, I've got this thing. Let's see if this works. Like, man, this will be awesome if I can do this. Let's go.
Let's try it.
Let's pressure test this right now.
Yeah.
But no, going back to like the whole gun thing, another reason why I also recommend like standard, like, Glock 19 M&P 2.0, because I'll get a lot of, you recommend something and somebody will not take your advice and like, hey, I've got this new, this new company that just came out with this brand new polymer pistol, but man, I can't find a holster for it. We call that a clue. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you would have gone this route,
you still
plenty
have
of
to
options.
You still have to get accessories for it. You still have to get support gear.
Yep. Holster sights, parts. Like parts is a big thing. We're talking about like the survival kit. Now I'm about acquiring parts like bolts, springs for Glock, for AR, whatever, like replacement parts. I've got enough guns, but I want to be able to repair them, or like you said, if you find a detent, do you have enough stuff to build a gun around?
Cleaning the house the other day, and there's a detent on the floor, and I was like, well, shit, now I got to build a rifle.
Yep.
That's some shit. No, I bought a pistol 3 years ago, I think it might have been, from this company where you could design every single part of the pistol. You probably know who it is. It's like a 2011 format, takes Glock mags.
Yeah.
And you could design the whole pistol right down to the different checkers on the checkering being a different color. It was pretty cool. And I made this awesome gun. And nobody made a holster for it.
Oh, no.
Son of a bitch. Like, it wouldn't fit in a safari land. It was designed for 2011. Because of the rail size and the trigger guard. I was like, damn it. Like, I can't even do anything with this pistol. And a buddy of mine bought it, and he ended up finding a holster for it. So I was like, enjoy it. I've got 100 rounds through it. it cost me over $2,000 said and done. So I got my money back. But still, it was just like, shit, I would really have liked it, but there's no support gear for it.
That's the thing in general. I'm not a fan of anything proprietary anymore. Like if I can't actively go out, like a new rifle system is, proprietary, whatever, bolt system, gas. I'm like, that thing could cure cancer. I still don't really, I want something I can find off the shelf parts.
Yep.
So I still like Glock. I can go to a local stop and rob and get a damn recoil spring or a Glock 19 mag.
You can have your gun break in the middle of a class.
And it'll still run.
Walk over to your kit, pull out your DACA pouch filled with Glock parts.
Yep.
Pull out a single punch, like 1/8-inch punch, fix that shit and be back on the line in 4 minutes, ready to go.
Yeah.
We had a gun that I carry. I was running in a class one night and the mag catch spring broke. Just that metal rod.
Yeah, the one that goes inside the grip.
Snapped in half. Huh. So like, son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah, this is genius.
So I'm digging through my bag of like spare parts and I don't have a mag catch spring. I'm like, how do I not have this? I had one. It was just buried.
Yeah.
So I open up my other bag and what do I have? I have an AR-15 trigger assembly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it, and me and Sean are looking at it, and
It's
we're
about
going.
the same size.
Sean's like, "I'll be right back." Runs out, grabs a pair of wire cutters from the store, from the gun shop.
Awesome.
Comes back in, he goes, "Click, let me see the gun." And put that in. Holy shit, it works! So it's like awesome. Essentially a beefed up magazine catch spring now, like. But it fits, it works, it hasn't broken again.
Did you ever take that out and put it like
no? It's still in there. This is like a year ago, year and a half ago. Man. It's still in there. It's wild. So obviously I went the next day and bought like 4 of them, 4 of the actual part. But still, it was like, you can fix that shit with the weirdest things, right? Little duct tape and a hammer.
So. Shameless plug. Find your magazine catch springs at bigtexordnance.com.
Trigger hammer spring / Glock mag release spring.
Just get yourself some wire cutters.
Yeah. You need to.
We'll sell a kit.
You need to have a description of your AR trigger springs.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know. There you go. Come here, you learned something.
New T-shirt design just came in. I can't really show it on camera.
I like that.
But
I like the green too. Odie green's my favorite color.
Well, hopefully the shirt's out by the time this drops. When do you think they'll be ready?
Oh, probably about a month.
Okay, yeah.
Month from now.
We'll probably drop this probably a month, maybe 2.
I need to do like a spring run of shirts and then another spring run of hoodies.
So if you want to see the new special OFT shirt that you heard about here first on the Big Tex Hornets podcast,
we'll have it.
They'll be available. OFT. So
OFTLLC.us.
Yeah. Okay. I knew there's something after the OFT. Yeah. OFTLLC.us.
I don't know how we ended up with .us. Don't ask.
It's probably better in Canadian. I think Canada has
CA.
CA, yeah.
It's actually spelled CAN-UH-DUH. Canada.
A.
I ran into a guy from Canada at SHOT Show and we were talking about
I
Trudeau.
actually ran into a Canadian dude too.
Yeah, so this dude is a lawyer up there fighting for their Second Amendment, which they don't have. And, we're talking about free healthcare and all that stuff that they have and all these free programs. And it's like, have you ever bought anything in Canada? It's like, this thing costs $10, but you've got $7 in tax by the time it's all rung up. And it's like, yeah, healthcare is free.
Yeah.
But everything else is overtaxed. It's like...
Well, the UK, I think, isn't like the VAT included in, like the sales tax included in the price? Like they don't even... Because like here, it's like $10. You go ring it up, it's, $10.08 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 80 cents, I guess.
Yeah. Over there, it's
it's just like
tax,
displayed in
VAT
the price.
tax, province tax, fucking Canadian tax.
Funny story about that, or not really related to that, but just in sales tax in general. The Houston Astros, long time ago, like 2005, you would go to their the pro shop there, and all their prices would end in like 23 or whatever. They basically calculated it back when you added sales tax.
So your total was round numbers?
And even $10 or even 20, you know, like it was
pretty smart.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting, but they took the time to back calculate all the taxes.
That's wild.
Houston Astros, circa 2004.
When they were bad.
Yeah. Actually, no, 2005 they went to the World Series.
Trying to think. Okay.
And then they got bad.
I think when I was about 10 years old, my uncle took me to a Houston Astros game because he knew.
Down here? Or
Yeah,
up there?
down here.
Oh.
Down here. He knew Joe Necro.
Oh, yeah. Or Phil.
Phil Necro. No. Was it Phil or Joe?
Or is it Joe? I
think it might have been Phil. Whoever was at the Astros back then, like 1980. And I had my glove, baseball glove. So we went down towards the dugout, and he threw the glove down. Phil Necro, I guess, signed it, and then threw it to this other dude, tall, skinny guy, who was the pitcher, I think. He signed it, threw it back up, and I'm trying to make out there's an N there and an O and something else. I'm like, I don't know who that is. About 5 years later, I think I threw the glove out because I was like, baseball sucks. Threw it out.
Yeah.
It was Nolan Ryan. Oh, son of a bitch. I had a glove signed by Phil Necro and Nolan Ryan.
Oh, man.
Dang.
Shit.
Going back, I think 05, you're correct. That was the year Brad Lidge got rocked by Albert Pujols, and he was never the same again after that. Yes, I remember that.
Oh, man. I hadn't heard those names in forever because Lights Out Lidge, man. He used to be
he was... Yeah, I remember that. Like when Pujols took him deep, he was just like, that did something to him.
Wait.
He was like unstoppable.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
No,
That's what you just said. When Pujols took him deep.
Yeah.
So like Lidge used to be lights out, like just you couldn't touch him. Yep. And then after that, like he was horrible. Couldn't close a game to save his life.
You want to start talking Charles Barkley, talking about like penetrations and stuff? Or?
Whoa, hey.
That's what he does.
Charles Barkley always says some wild stuff, man.
He does, man. Those guys are nuts. I love it. I love listening. Like you hear him and Shaq go at it. Oh, it's hysterical.
Were you? Did you ever get a dome dog back in the day at the Astrodome?
Oh no, I remember going to the Astrodome as a kid.
You don't remember getting a dome dog?
Well, we probably did. I remember Orbit and getting cotton candy and stuff.
Are you from Houston? Mm-hmm. Did you go watch any Astros games? Okay. We used to do that as kids growing up.
We used to go to Enron Field.
When Enron still existed.
It was cool for a hot minute. I liked baseball when I was real little.
Yeah, I've been out of it for a while, but
and then I was like
all the way up through high school, I was pretty big into it.
Found my first Soldier of Fortune magazine at the newsstand, and then found like Inside Kung Fu or something next to it. And I was like, there goes my life.
Throw out this Nolan Ryan glove.
I don't need this baseball glove anymore. That's probably worth. I don't even want to know.
Yeah. I think growing up, Dad had a ball. He was a big New York Yankees fan, but he had a baseball that me and my brother would play with, and he got pissed because we were throwing it around. Like, why? He's like, it's signed by Mickey Mantle.
I would have beat you within an inch of your life.
I think we lost it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Went down.
That's brutal.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
That's brutal. Yeah, the things that we realize now that we should have hold on to, but shit happens. It's all right. I just sold my comic book collection.
I've still got a bunch of baseball cards that me and my brother collect. Like we used to get the Beckett's and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look up the pricing guides.
Yeah. And I want to see because we're not into that anymore. But I want to see like what the value of our stuff is.
I've got a bunch. They're in the attic. They're probably all like melted together right now. I gave some to the kids a while back. They're into Pokemon cards now. So I gave them a little some baseball cards too. Because
like my Billy Wagner trumps your Charizard.
Yeah. So they've been playing with baseball cards and I guess Pokemon cards now too.
It's wild. So what do you guys got coming up for the next year?
Man, we got all kinds of stuff in the works. You're talking to events coordinators right here. Okay. She's the one that puts everything together. So BTO and then BTO range. Mm-hmm. What do you got on this side? So we're about to launch armor services for ARs and stuff.
I highly recommend that. Josh helped me do a pin and weld, the gas block.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody And that's one of the things I enjoyed about the Kratos gas block is how that top witness mark allows you to verify alignment, but the amount of detail that he went in order to set screw and cross pin that thing.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend that.
And we're getting another mill next Thursday. We're getting that. We're adding that, so we'll have 2. But yeah, so we're going to be offering the ability to pin your gas block to your barrel. So that's dimpling it with 2 set screws and driving a pin through the gas block into the barrel just to keep it steady. So we're going to be offering that. Upper and lower assembly, muzzle device installation, all that good stuff. That way, there's you like good components and stuff, just don't have the proper tools or don't have the time to put something together.
True.
You can send it off. We don't charge a whole lot. Get it done professionally, test fired, all that stuff, and then send it back. And you can buy the parts here too. Yeah. So we're about to launch that. That'll probably be up before this gets released, but we're excited about that.
Yeah, I've never built an upper. I'll build all my own lowers and back ends, but I'll always just buy a complete upper. Because usually with an AR, anything that's going to go wrong with that gun and have it not work properly is in the upper.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ain't nobody got time to work on that shit. I'm just going to buy one. How much does it cost? Cool. Here you go. Thank you very much. You've saved me hours of headaches.
Yeah.
But I would like to really get into getting into that whole thing. But
so I would too, because I've never built an AR, never really done anything with that. So I really want to get.
The lower you're building just a click and a hinge,
right? With
the lower, it takes 10 minutes to put that shit together. But the upper's where all of the science happens.
Yeah.
So I'm I'll shoot them and I'll clean them, maybe clean them once in a while, but I don't want to build the uppers. Not right now.
Yeah. And then especially if your barrel isn't dimpled, having to do that, that's not really something you can do. Anything's possible with a impact and a
beat it to fit and paint it to match.
But it's best if you have the specialized tools to be able to do that. And then if you want to pin it, again, that's probably not something you should do with a Milwaukee drill.
Hand drill, yeah. Or even, to be honest with you, even if you've got just the runouts and drill presses, you're going to have some issues with that.
Yeah,
ask me how I know.
I've got my guys from Delta Level Defense that are an hour away. So I'm just gun in bag, drive over. Hey, can you guys do this, and that? Cool, I'll pick it up tomorrow, and that's it. And I don't have to worry about it because they know what they're doing. I don't with that, so don't mess with it. I can't tell you how many people come in. Well, you probably have a good idea. What's going on with your gun? I don't know. It's not cycling. How come? I don't know. Where'd you get it? I built it.
Let's start there.
Okay, well, that's probably what it is. And then I'll tell everybody oh, did you build that? Yeah, I built it myself. Yeah. Buy a complete upper next time.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen a gas block misaligned.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll cause it, your gun won't run. If it's including that gas port on the barrel, it will not run.
Nope.
It'll fire once, but it's a single shot.
It's you only need a parachute to skydive. No, you need a parachute to skydive twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's usually the gas block or, ironically, the buffer spring. I've seen, people go through the whole gun I can't figure out what's going on. I'm put a different buffer spring in. And they'll put a different buffer spring in and it'll work great. It's one of the other end of things, I guess.
Well, that's kind of my issues with most inexpensive AR manufacturers is they'll put a carbine buffer in there.
Oh, yeah.
Or they won't even stake the castle nut. And guys, just take $40, go put an H2 in that sucker. It'll save you heartache.
It's a whole $40 though, man. It's a lot of money.
That tungsten's expensive, man.
It is.
You mean these anodized parts from Strike Industries won't work?
Let's not get into that.
Oh, I know. It's funny. There was a company around the time of COVID that came out with an AR. I forget what they were called. I don't want to drop the name anyway, but it was a $600 AR-15.
Yeah.
and it was technically considered an other because it had a pistol brace on it. And they were kind of coming out left and right in New York. And
was it one of those ones where it was a smooth bore and there was no rifling in it?
Oh, the Franklin? Yeah.
Was that?
No, it wasn't the
bullets?
Franklin.
Yeah, it was almost what was it? It was like a Nerf ball.
Yeah, it
we had
looked
as
like the
kids.
Nerf foot.
You could
with
launch
little
it.
fins on the
Yeah.
back.
So
That was
had a kid come
We
out
gotta
to
come
a
back to
class
that.
with one of those, and it would fire one round and it wouldn't cycle, and it was dry as hell. Pull back the charging handle and it's like so we lubed the shit out of it, still wouldn't cycle. And they were being sold at my local store for like $600. And I was like, dude, where'd you get this? And he gave me the name of the store. It was another store a couple towns over that nobody likes, this store. And I was like, how much did you pay for it? Oh, $17.50. I was like, oh, go get your money back, kid. Like $17.50 you could have gotten.
Oh yeah.
But it was wild. It was wild. There were so many like the whole COVID guns, all the Turkish stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I got stories on that if you want.
I mean, Turkish shotguns were coming out.
They were everywhere.
You'd be surprised the stuff that people think is like 100% made, like either European or whatnot.
Right.
That includes like Turkish barrels and Turkish parts.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, y'all would be surprised. So,
And I don't care if it's quality stuff. That's great. But
it's
when
all about
like,
the keys. So if we enact like a 25% tariff on Turkish imports, y'all will see.
You'll see.
If there's like a all of a sudden a 25% increase in this pistol that you think is American made, there's a reason for that.
Watch out for price changes.
Yeah. So, like, there's a lot of stuff people don't realize, but
primers.
Yeah. But no,
Primers coming from Europe.
But no, at that time, so that's kind of like how the company I work for got started. Is they got started before that, and we talk about this. If COVID didn't exist, if COVID didn't happen, we wouldn't exist as a company.
Oh, really?
Because the at the time, the American market, anything that you could bring over, anything, they would buy it, and so importers were just any factory overseas in Turkey or whatnot that could create any product, they would fill that, ship it, and then distributors and dealers were just it did not matter.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there was a lot of bad stuff that came over here at that time.
There was a lot of...
But we also found out who were the good people to work with, and then we kind of fine-tuned that.
We used to call it COVID ammo. Mm-hmm. There's a whole list of companies making ammunition that we never saw before. Like if you go on Target Sports, right? We buy...
That's where I use.
We buy a ton of ammo from them every month, and you'll have... your CCIs, your Magtechs, Federal, Winchester, and then there'll be a whole bunch of brands you're like, these weren't here 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because that's all like Eastern European brands. Mm-hmm. And some of them worked, some of them weren't good. I had bought a case of one company's ammo and fired maybe 500 rounds of it. And every other round was bang, click, just misfires. So
ended up malfunction clearings.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of that in, but and then I thought maybe it's me. When I talked to a buddy of mine, oh yeah, same shit happened with me. So there was a whole list of them. It was crazy. It was wild.
Crazy times.
We've definitely seen some crazy stuff, and I don't think it's over. I think we're going to see a lot of weird stuff the next 4 years.
Who knows? I just know, I know that within the industry in general, we're back to like 2019 levels. And then we just got to be smart as an industry in general about what we bring to market, what dealers, what they stock,
Right.
If you haven't sold that during COVID, you're never going to sell that thing.
Yeah.
And so just being smarter about what's on the shelf and, be more cautious about inventory turns and things like that.
Yeah. I got an email today about price drop in ammo from a ammunition distributor. It was like 40, 45 ACP, something else. Price drop now, like everybody's lowering prices from that spike that we had. So it's a good time to buy ammo.
Yeah. Or people are sitting on inventory and they're just trying to get their money back of whatever they can.
Mm-hmm.
I know during COVID, a lot of people were buying shipping containers full of ammo and stuff. And then they're like, for a while, they were still trying to move all that. Like, I mean, I remember, 9mm being crazy expensive, $40 a box or something for, Winchester white box.
1,000 rounds for $1,000 at a store by us.
Damn.
There's
for like bullshit 9.
There is a store, and I'm not going to name names, in the Houston area that they did that. They got pallets of 9mm, and they are during COVID, and they are still sitting on. They had their entire floor. Last time I was in there was like 6 months ago. They had their entire floor just lined.
Oh wow!
With cases of 9mm, and what they have to sell it for now. I mean, they're going to lose their ass.
What were they selling it for? 1,000?
Oh gosh, now that it was like $500 or $600 for a case.
Yeah, that was
6 months ago.
So that was a good price during COVID.
Yeah,
$600.
That was a really good price.
I used to order from Natchez.
Yeah,
that's $5.99 for a case of Blazer.
They were trying to sell $600-700 a case wholesale. Is how bad it got. So they were buying it probably $500 a case. They were trying to sell it to us for $600 a case, and then first there was like $900 a case what they're trying to sell for. And then they start coming down as the bottom crap fell out of the market. They're like, I'm in it for $500. I got to sell it for they're still trying to turn a profit.
Well, the thing was at the time as we had so many brand new gun owners, they didn't know what the market naturally was.
They didn't know what the price was.
And so, $1 a round, box of 50 bucks.
That bad. Yeah.
Not a problem. And same thing with guns, like anything that they could find, it would, whatever. So like talking about ammo, it was the Friday when Trump came on talking about the 15 days to stop the spread. Me and my buddy Michael were driving to San Antonio for one of Scott Jedlinski's classes, and Trump's on, he's on the radio talking about this, and I'm on, text or Facebook or whatever, and ammo starting to fly off the shelf. And so I stocked fairly deep, and I had what I thought was good ammo, and I ordered the last few boxes of like some soft point 223, and I asked my buddy Mike, who's he's a dentist down in Pasadena, and he runs an FFL out of his dental office. Oh, and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I think I'm okay. I was like, I got maybe about like 7-8 cases of 9 at the house. I was like, I think I'm fine. It's like, how many you got, Mike? He's like, I got about 30. It's like, God dang. And then I went and looked back. Like, I had ordered ammo literally the February and the January before COVID hit. Dude, I was getting Fiocchi for $165 a case shipped to my house.
Yeah. Just to buy
those
9.
days are long gone.
Yeah. $154 for a case of like Spear Lawman 9mm.
Yeah. Jeez.
Heartbreaking.
So actually, one of the guns that we bought. I think there's a Browning A5 shotgun from 1961. The receipt, we have original receipt, everything in the box. The dude paid $144 for it in 1961. But it's actually kind of cool. It's got the whole picture, or we have the whole receipt. Yeah. Then there's a little pamphlet. It's hunting safety tips presented by the Ford Motor Company.
Look at all those old Sears catalogs from the 40s and 50s, like Colt 1911 automatic, $75 shipped to your house. Yeah. Like, wait, what? How did I miss this?
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet, damn it.
Sears had their own firearms line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were big into the rifles. You had a lot of Sears and Roebuck shotguns out there floating around. But times have definitely changed.
We'll send you a gun.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, checks, please.
Mail order.
But that's the thing that I'm kind of trying to been telling everybody within the industry is now we're on, things have kind of leveled out. Man, buy your magazines, buy your ammo. now's the time. If you've ever wanted an AR-15, like
It's the
buy
time to buy.
your ARs right
Yeah.
now. Don't wait for the next craziness to happen, something to kick off, something to kick you in the pants to urge you to go do. Like now now is the good old days.
Yeah.
Don't wait for something. And so like stock deep.
Well, that was the thing with COVID. Like Rachel and I would buy a case of ammo a week of something, 9mm, 45, 223, whatever it was. And COVID hit, and I was like, oh shit. Because I remember 2008 when Obama came in. That was like the first real big crunch that we saw. And we were like, oh shit. I was like, I think I know what's going to happen here. So I would go from our house out to Pittsburgh to our house out there, and I would stop at all the Dunham Sports and Sportsman's Warehouse along the way, and I would pick up like a case of this, a case of that, and like I'd come home with like 8 or 9 cases of something by the time I made my way back home. So when COVID it kind of exploded, people were like, oh man, I don't have ammo. How are you taking classes? I'm like, bro, I got like 100,000 rounds of 9mm. And they're like, where did you get all that? And I'm like, it's not where, it's when.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we were
Cost
just,
average it.
yeah, we were sitting on, enough ammo to get us through COVID. I have that ammo still unopened.
Yeah.
All that shit's still in our ammo trailer. Like we never even touched it
So I was
because
lucky.
we were still able to get.
Right. See, I was lucky through COVID because the store that I worked for, we very seldom, like we had pallets of, it was PMC, but we had pallets of that stuff coming in. So we stayed stocked on ammo through it. And so every time we'd get a pallet in, I would, buy cases, buy as many cases as they would let me. So we're just now running out of the ammo that we had from COVID. I think we have like 5,000 rounds left. So
Yeah, I remember my local store, my buddy Scotty, good dude, but I called him. Like I went in, bought a case of Spear Lawman for $1.50, right? Called him 2 weeks later. I'm like, hey, you got any more of that Lawman left? He goes, yeah, man, come on in. I got a whole stack of it here, $400 a case. And I was like, did you just say $400 a case? And he's like, yeah, man, $400 a case. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And he goes, it's what I got to pay for it, man. He's like, do you not know what's going on right now? And I'm like, yeah, but I really didn't think ammo was as valuable as toilet paper. Like, are people fighting each other for ammo in the parking lot like they are in a grocery store?
Now,
Like, this is wild.
There were stories I heard of, dealers putting in, they might have had an ammo order put in 2020, like COVID what happened, but it really hadn't gotten that bad. Like we really didn't know the severity of it. And then it would take 6, 7, 8 months to ship. And then once it finally shipped, they would invoice it at the current price, which was almost 2-3x over what. And I'm like, man, that is. No, if I put in my PO at this date, you need to
honor that
and fulfill that
It's insane.
that. But it was like I gotta have it, and so man, hearing those horror stories,
These poor bastards.
yeah. So stock up on ammo.
Man,
More of the story. buy your stuff today.
Yes.
While it's cheap.
So what's going on with the range?
all right, let's see. We got classes coming up.
Class coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, we
Fuck
have
that
the
guy.
coolest class ever coming up tomorrow. I can't remember what they're called, but I'm just kidding. Just
Well, it's
kidding.
not Templar Defense because he's going to be somewhere else.
Sorry, man.
Whatever, bro.
It's show season.
Whatever, man.
So yeah,
Sorry.
so the OFT Pistol Skill Builder tomorrow.
Boom.
We've got, let's see, Grieg Performance AR Proficiency coming up February 22nd. We've got one of our mini maintenance classes that we do, 6-hour maintenance class March 1st.
Does Andrew put those on?
Yeah. So we've got something coming up that we just recently started doing. Andrew got certified in this, but it is the LTC holder advanced carry course. So it's basically for, first responders if they want to actually carry while they're on duty, but it's also, it goes further than that. It's actually kind of like elite training that you know, it's kind of like that next level training. But we started doing that. The next class is going to be March 7th through 9th, and that class is only $250. So it's a 3-day class.
Which one's Andrew?
Andrew's the GM at Big Tech's or BTO range.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you've met him.
Older guy?
Yes.
Yes. He has the office behind yours, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Good dude.
With Ashley.
Yes. Little bitey thing.
Which is a dog, not a female. Just wanted to clarify that.
Context is important
Wanted
here.
to clarify that one.
Yeah. And then we've got the Complete Combatant inner game of shooting coming up in March 15th.
Nice.
So. And I could keep going, but I think that's good enough.
The boss is like, "Can I call you for a second?" I'm like, "Not right now." Like, this is going on. This is
Andrew's
a thing.
a wealth of knowledge. I always enjoy talking with him
Andrew
about.
is like an encyclopedia of all things.
That's the best
firearms.
way to describe it.
I love
really
it.
is.
That's cool.
Like he'll be like, "Hey, what do you know about this revolver?" He's like, "Oh, this is like a 63, and you know, in 64 they stopped using this spring, and they switched over to like
it's wild. It's so wild.
And for half a 63, they did this, and look, clearly yours is the 63 made June to July about that time because
It's a
of
little
this right
known
here.
fact that back
Yeah.
in the
And like you can see by the slotted screw here, you see how it's kind of at a 45-degree bevel instead of a 46. That means it's like, holy cow, dude! Like he's forgotten more about guns than I'll ever know.
Yeah.
Like and it's all on demand too. Like he just knows like all these random. Like down to like the year and the month of the year, like on when they made this change on this, literally on this screw for this pistol or something. It's insane, and he's just
very
off the
cool.
top of his head. Like
That's good though.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's
It's
good.
amazing.
It's good to have knowledgeable people on staff.
Yeah.
Just nerd out on that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a good crowd for tomorrow.
yeah. What do you have coming up? I know I guess you're making the trip back. Got a Connecticut class this weekend. When's the next tour
Leave
kickoff?
here Friday. Hopefully make it home in time for Connecticut Sunday night. And then it all starts over again. So we go from Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire-ish area, Pennsylvania, New York. I think I'm relatively in the Northeast until like April. And then I've got we're going to TACCON in March.
Okay.
TACCON in March, and then a bunch of stuff in Virginia in the spring and in New Hampshire, so kind of bouncing back and forth. I fear that I may have booked Northern Virginia on a Saturday and then New Hampshire on a Sunday. It's going to be a real pain in the butt. I didn't realize I did that, but yeah, just, you know, going all over the place. Florida in January again next year. Coming back out here. Just came from a class on Sunday at Tim Herron's range in Stanley, New Mexico. We did accuracy and accountability pistol, and that had 14 people in it, which was weird. Like, I've never been to New Mexico before, but here we are with 14 people in the class. Like, weird things are happening. So I'm not complaining, but I was just really surprised. When I had originally booked it with Tim, I was like, look, man, coming back from SHOT, just trying to pay for the trip. If I get 5 people, I said, if we can get 5 people, I'm psyched. And then we got 14 on the line.
Hell
and I
yeah.
was like, I'll take it. I don't know if you know Andy Montoya.
Sounds familiar.
Him and Jeremy Gill, they're from out there. Instructors from out there. They were in the class. Good dudes. They do some classes out there at some of the other ranges for guys that need to qual and some people getting permits and stuff. They're pretty good dudes. They were in the class, so it's good to see those guys. But interesting thing that happened in the class. There's a dude in the class named Tom Wall from out there, and you know
Guess you're related to Paul Wall.
I knew you were going to say that.
even better. As a
champ.
lifelong martial artist, we started talking, and he says, oh, yeah, when I signed up, did you recognize the name? And I said, Tom Wall? No. I said, unless you're related to Bob Wall. And he goes, that was my brother. And I was like, no shit. So Bob Wall was the dude that was in Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. White guy, he had the scar on the side of his face. I forget what his character was, but if you ever watch Enter the Dragon, the big ceremonial fight scene, he was one of the guys in that scene. Very well-known martial artist for back in the 80s. And it was like, no shit, that was your brother. He's like, yep. He goes, you can't imagine what it was like growing up with him. I was like, it's like, I don't want to know. But that was a cool thing. But yeah, just looking at classes for the year 2025, I've got like 3-4 days off a month. So yeah, I'm not, get it while you can get it.
Yeah.
Right.
I always say, like, if the, the iron's in the fire and the fire's hot, go after it. But if you're like, running yourself into the ground, maybe take a couple days off. So I've got next week, I got a couple days off after that Connecticut class. So I'm going to go home, hang with the dog, hang out with the wife, throw snowballs at the dog in the backyard and have a good time. What about you?
Heck, we'd actually have you down this weekend, but I had got to head up to Fort Worth for a show, so I'm sorry about that.
Always leaving me.
Anyway, my apologies. I had a class in January, and then I've only got 2 in February. I've got a rifle class, rifle 1 on February 22nd out in just west of Katy. But usually January, February are pretty show heavy for us. March, I've got a full schedule. March 1st and 2nd, Matt McGuire. I'm hosting Matt.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yep. So I'm hosting Matt out
The way forward training, right?
Yep. It's his performance defensive pistol. And I love that because there's like a dichotomy in the training community where you've got people who are like defensive focused, and if you shoot faster than 0.5 splits, like you're going to go to jail. And then you've got other guys like Hunter Freeland who are like, dude, just burn it down, right? And Matt, I think, does a good job of basically combining the two and saying, hey, yeah, I understand this is a defensive class, but that doesn't mean you have to be like a horrible shooter and slow. Like, we can be defensive focused, but you can also shoot fast and accurately, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. So The Way Forward is his website. You can also sign up through my website, Templar Defense. I was accepting bookings because he hadn't set his up yet.
Yeah, we did the same thing. He's coming to see us too.
So we got him 1st and 2nd, and then I've got classes all throughout March and April. I'm doing our Intro to Red Dot class, our Concealed Carry 1, which is an intro to holster class. It's really designed for people that have their LTC, but they really want to take that next step and learn how to draw from the holster. So we've got those, and then I'm trying to make it a point this year to get more training in for myself. Like, we've got Matt coming in March, Hunter's coming in November, and then I got to get out to Rangemaster to try to get my advanced certification. And so I'm trying to make it a point this year to balance classes and then myself, because I did not do that last year. I did not get enough time out on the range for myself. But yeah, so
that's good.
You got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know that.
I mean, yeah. You do. But February, March is a busy. April and May, we've got some stuff. And then summer dies down here in East Texas because it gets hot.
It does.
As Chris Greenfield liked to call it. I mean, it was like... It was that one time he came out to the range.
Yeah,
it was
still
probably
talk about that.
It was the worst weather you could ever have, and so that's just been ingrained into his psyche. It's like, this range equals hell.
So that's why. Remember the class we had, the last class I had at Katy?
You came in October and you claimed it was hot.
He told me, he's like, I was going to go, but I thought it would be too hot. I'm like, it's October. That's why he didn't go.
So. It was, the weird thing was, it doesn't really get, so this was, I think the class was June 10th, and I think it was John Valentine's class, I think. Anyway, but it doesn't really start getting hot until like late June, July.
Yeah.
It was 100 degrees, like 90% humidity.
Yeah.
Not a cloud in the sky, and the wind was not blowing.
Just bacon.
We had a lot of guys here show up, and we literally... Every single tent that we had, we just lined it up and we shot under the tents. All right, move it back to 10 yards. All right, move the tents back. Was, it was an anomaly. So it's not going to be like that in the spring. But no, to give him credit, that class was miserable, and it would.
Yeah. I have the opposite problem. We have like December, January, February, March by us that we used to book all year round. As long as the outdoor range was open, there we were, standing in up to our knees in snow, holding rifles, shotguns, whatever. And about 5 years ago, I said, we ain't doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I ain't doing this
Too
shit.
old for this.
Too old for this shit. Totally like channeling my Murtaugh, like, I'm getting too old for this shit.
That was a pretty good impression.
And then the next year, guess where I'm at? Back out on the range, standing in the snow, going, too old for this shit. The last 2 years, however, I pulled the plug on that shit. And been spending, time either at indoor ranges or down here in the South, spending my month of January going from Florida to Vegas and back. And I'm just done with it. Like, you won't catch me down here in the summer, and you won't catch me in the snow in the winter. Like, you got to figure out where to be.
So the problem down, like, our weather is bipolar in like January and February. So during SHOT, right? I'm at SHOT and my kids are playing in the damn snow.
Yeah.
Right. So you could have great weather, or it could be cold as hell. You get into March, April, and May, you could have great weather, or it's raining its ass off.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, pick your poison. So
Yep. Yeah. Steve takes off, I think, July. Takes the month of July off, and then takes, I think, January or December off. And I'm like, got to follow that business plan. Like, work your ass off so that you can take like the ugly month of the year off and not have to worry about dealing with it. But, trying to find indoor ranges, that's a tough one. That is tough.
We got an indoor range and we got you booked, so
I know,
we're ahead of the game.
We got to do a weekend, though. We got to get a weekend,
Yeah,
Saturday,
we do.
Sunday going on to really maximize potential. So, but we got a good crowd for tomorrow. I'm psyched for it.
Yeah, it should
Very
be pretty
psyched.
good.
Are you shooting tomorrow?
I don't know. We have an event on Friday that they're setting up for tomorrow. So if things go smooth, yes. If not, then I won't be able to.
So just stand there with a rifle. Things better go smooth.
Yes, thank you. That would be much appreciated.
Well, guys, thank y'all for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us.
Sitting down and talking with us.
Yeah.
Always good to see you and chat for a bit.
Absolutely.
So.
We love you guys. And
We
me
love
and
you.
this dude are like buddies. So, I love hanging out with him whenever every opportunity I get. So
Aw.
even if
So
I'm boring
sweet.
at SHOT Show and I don't like to go out and party, but
I like to go out and party.
he's like, you coming to this party? I'm like, man, I'm going to sleep.
Everything I did, I was there for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes max, and I was out.
Yeah.
We did not to hijack. We did go to Chinatown one night. I think it was
Nice.
Wednesday night with a couple of our guys, and we took an Uber out there. And I'm like, is this the same street as the Leatherneck Bar? Holy shit, there it is, right there. And then you see Chinese food restaurant, massage parlor, Chinese food, massage parlor,
massage parlor.
You can have a good time on this street.
Don't Google new room massage. Just don't. I know you're gonna. You can't resist it. There's all kinds of massages that you can get on.
Is that the kind you're getting tonight?
No. Totally PG thing. This is a therapeutic
bet.
massage, but I have a friend of mine who goes to Vegas and tells me about all the different massages that he gets. So I'm like, and I look at him like, no, I'm good.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
Outstanding. Thank you guys.
Thanks for watching. We'll you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I gotta say it. Go follow these guys. Yeah, we'll have links in the description. You know what to do.
Cool. Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
See ya.